Kia ora, I'm Rob McNeil, co-party leader of the Animal Justice Party, and I'm proud to present one of the first ever comprehensive budgetary submissions asking Parliament to see and provide substantially for non-human animals. You can please take our submission as read, but I would like to take just a few minutes to explain it, hopefully with time for questions. Over 95% of sentient beings in Aotearoa are not human. They're pigs in farrow crates, dogs in council pounds, cats poisoned on conservation land. They can't vote, they can't submit to select committees, they can't donate to political parties, but they can suffer, and they do every day, with public money. No taxation without representation, says the slogan, but they're taxed with their lives and our indifference. The government will spend close to $150 billion this year in their budget. The Animal Justice Party has submitted to ask for $63.5 million in baseline funding to recognise animal sentience in how we spend every public dollar. That's 0.04% of the operating budget. 4 cents for every $100 to fundamentally shift how New Zealand treats the majority of sentient life in our care. We have policies and we love the environment, ecosystems, biodiversity metrics, but we also speak up today for individual sentient beings who feel pain, fear and joy just like us and deserve justice in their own right. We're not asking you to care about animals because it's good for the planet, though it is. We're not asking you to care because Kiwis love their pets, though they do. We're asking you to care that it's right, because a country that spends billions while ignoring the suffering of 95% of sentient life is potentially failing its most basic moral test. And animals are really good for your votes. 63.5 million creates an independent commissioner for animals with teeth. It establishes an animal justice fund. It provides $1 million to ensure the transition for the ban on live export, $1 million to start a transition away from cruel factory farming, $6 million to phase out endless 1080 aerial poisoning, $4 million for humane feral cat management and relocation, $3.5 million for exotic pet regulation, $5 million to work on shade for animals, for farm animals and to stop mud farming, $6 million to defend our seas and oceans, $3 million to move councils from kill by default to no kill by default pounds. And we're not afraid to talk up the transition for the affected parties. $8 million for farmers to start to look at moving away from animal agriculture. $2 million for communities transitioning from recreational hunting. $5 million for laboratories moving to non-animal methods. We're here to find solutions for all, not to vilify. And because humans don't vote, we're shouting our policies from the rooftops and hopefully offering a pathway forward for everyone. We're asking for $7 million for a national vet care program, so families don't have to choose between feeding their kids and saving their dogs. And $5 million for the amazing rescue organisations and sanctuaries for farm animals that currently survive on donations and constant volunteer burnout. We'd also like you to look at $500,000 for compassionate leave for when a companion animal dies, because that grief is very real. New Zealand prides itself on being progressive, on leading the world in caring and innovative policies, on punching above our weight. And we're way behind Australia on many of these animal issues. We aerial poison more mammals per capita than almost any nation on earth. We factory farm 100+ million chickens in a year in conditions that would be illegal in the EU. We kill thousands of healthy dogs in council pounds. We drag nets through marine reserves and call it sustainable. We experiment on animals when alternatives exist. And now we're adding beloved cats to the list of species we plan to poison endlessly, doing it all with public money. So don't act surprised if the world eventually calls us hypocrites. This committee has a choice, and I appreciate our time here very much. You can treat this submission like every other animal welfare plea, nod politely, acknowledge concerns and change nothing, or you can recognise that we're offering a comprehensive, costed, implementable framework for change. We've done the work, we've got the numbers. I'm a chartered accountant with long business experience. I ran for Auckland Mayor last year in the biggest New Zealand electorate and got 7,000 votes. You'll see us in November. We're not asking for symbolic gestures, we're demanding structural transformation. Up to 40% of humans who refused to be evacuated in Hurricane Katrina in the US did so because they couldn't take their animals with them. So when you help animals, you're helping humans, and that means votes. Think about the votes you can get with a few bucks for animals. Think about the votes you'll lose by ignoring it. $63.5 million to see the unseen, to protect the vulnerable, to finally start to align New Zealand spendings with New Zealand values. Animal Justice Party is here to speak up for the animals, and please, we'd encourage you to visit animaljustice.org.nz for more information. Thank you, and I'm happy to take questions.
Okay, very good. Okay, I'm going to go to Francisco Jimenez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I see here that you've got provisions here for establishing, emergency management, a funding request for emergency management protection for animals. One of the things that the new emergency management legislation will do is, require the incorporation of, animals into that act. Have you had a chance to go through that? And are you going to be making a submission on that emergency?
We are making a submission separately on the emergency management bill too.
Great.
Thanks for the question.
Okay, and welcome to the committee. I see the business committee has confirmed your allocation here, so very good. Okay, Todd Stevens.
Thank you, and thank you for your submission, and congratulations. You said it's your first one on the budget policy statement, so great. And you've outlined the spend that you'd like 63.5 million. Have you given any thought to revenue measures? Are you just wanting that money? Obviously, you point out we've spent about 150 billion as government. You just want that prioritised from other areas, or do you have any revenue measures that you've thought about, levies, etc., or?
No, not specifically. We haven't included that in the submission. We'd be open to that. What we're really hoping is for a national coordination on a lot of issues, including issues that have traditionally been left to, say, councils regarding dog pounds. We feel there's some overarching involvement that's needed, but certainly open to anything. Obviously, not up for using animals to generate revenue, but any other revenue suggestions would be welcomed.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Okay, very good. Anyone else? Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much.
I'm only at about 7 minutes. We tend to get cut off. I did just want to say a really quick closing statement, and that's just a plea to all of the parties. Come on, steal our stuff here. This will be really good for your votes out there. Imagine how many votes you can get by speaking up for animals. We're looking for commitments and costs and promises by parties to do positive things for animals. In 10 years, people are going to ask why it took so long, why we kept poisoning, why we kept killing in pounds, why we kept factory farming, why we watched Hector's dolphins go extinct in trawl nets we could have banned. And the answer hopefully isn't that because it cost 0.04% of the budget. And again, thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Oh, thank you. And we all look forward to the SPCA also giving us marking all parties on their manifestos and commitments to animal welfare and the like. So thank you.
Thank you.